get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen,
My
just
thoughts
in
get
case
so
you
bad,
live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
best
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad.
Welcome everyone to the Heel the Ring podcast, the Monday Night Raw edition with your host DS Sports Jedi Kev. Hope everyone's doing well. We are coming from the Saturday Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We had a lot of different results, a lot of changes in the last gate of WWE, quite a bit. Not only did Theory and Liv Morgan win their respective Money in the Bank matches, but Morgan actually cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and defeated the Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey and winning the title. And of course, it was a spectacle in Vegas, and we're ready. And it carried over to Monday Night Raw. And before Theory could claim the briefcase himself and being part of the Money in the Bank match, we saw him dropping his title to none other than the almighty Bobby Lashley, defeating him and becoming a United States champion. And Monday Night Raw dealt with all the fallouts from the pay-per-view while building up for the upcoming SummerSlam card. We're here to do it. Let's get going into the 4th of July. It is our nation holiday of the birth of America. We started off with none other kicking off the show with Bobby Lashley coming out with the crowd. It was loud, chanting the Bobby chants, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. The crowd is all in favor of him winning this title. And boy, the heat that Austin Theory has gotten, or Theory, we want to call him Theory as well, not just Austin Theory, but Theory, and the heat that he provides, my God. But all in all, you say Lashley says American Independence Day hold a special place in his heart, as he could be any more happier stand here as your United States champion. And you know what? Bobby Lashley's promo skills is getting much more greater as time goes on. Sometimes I used to, myself, I'm going to apologize because I used to think that Bobby Lashley was like chewing tinfoil. Like, a great wrestler, great physique, great in-ring powerhouse. But when it comes to microphone cutting skills, I just wanted to grab a piece of tinfoil and chew on it. But he's improving. He has won me over as, liking him. I am a fan of Bobby Lashley going forward. And let's see where this United States title run goes. Lashley said it's not the title that makes the man, it's the man that makes the title. And I wanted to bring that to on my notes because I totally agree with it. Everyone was complaining that the mid-card titles, which is either the Intercontinental title or the United States title, had no value, no meaning, no pizzazz, like back in the old days, I don't want to sound like an old relic, but unfortunately, I go back as far as before WrestleMania started, WrestleMania 1, and when you had the Intercontinental title with the Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat, I always go, that's to me a Roddy Piper, Bret the Hitman Hart. Those mid-card titles, even though they weren't mid-card, they was a stepping stone to what was coming to the future. And, you will go as an Intercontinental run. Even when Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels was Intercontinental champion, it catapulted. Those titles, those mid-card catapults for your next up-and-coming main eventers. And we needed that prestige, that flair, that luxury, that luster in those titles. And of course, Bobby Lashley has been a world champion many a times. And sometimes you put a world champion, it's not a degradation. We also saw Ric Flair hold those titles. It's not, to me, it's not, don't think of it as degradation or being denigrated. I think they're elevating it because now you have to kind of if you're going to take these titles away from this champion, Lashley, you got to be almost in world heavyweight contention to take it away from him. I like the fact that they're going to put him on that. How long does he hold the title? We don't know, because speaking of that, whereas Lashley is getting serenaded and getting his cheers from the crowd, no, and Theory interrupts and he points us out. He lets us all know he is the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank in WWE history. Not only is the youngest Money in the Bank, and he's also the youngest United States champion in WWE history. And Theory says he's going to want a rematch against Bobby Lashley for that United States Championship in SummerSlam. So right there, as soon as the show kicks off, it's letting us know the direction, setting up for SummerSlam on this Monday Night Raw after the premium event on Money in the Bank. So now we see another card added to the SummerSlam extravaganza. Theory versus the almighty Bobby Lashley in a rematch for the United States title. Of course, we all know he is the sole carrier of the Money in the Bank briefcase. And Theory says he's going to get a rematch with Lashley. So that sets up. Theory adds that he also could be taking down the winner of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, throwing a little crumbs, a little hint that he goes, hey, it's a last man standing match. These two titans are going to beat the hell out of each other, and knocking each other around. Of course, the Beast Incarnated versus the Tribal Chief, and Theory's going to be an opportunistic. What a way of getting heat. What a way of the crowd can't stand him. The WWE Universe can't stand Austin Theory, and that's what you want in a heel. If you want to be a great heel and take your level, your heat and that pizzazz to another level, you need that. You need that. And now people say, but him and so forth, Mr. McMahon's handpicked protege, even better. Because if we are disliking the Theory character, he's doing his job. You always got to look a little bit in your past to look to your, sometimes what's currently going on. It's the same thing with a Roddy Piper. Everyone hated Roddy Piper before WrestleMania. Everyone couldn't stand him. He was the most vilified. And I'm not comparing, don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing Theory in the level of Roddy Piper. Hell no. Theory he's like I say, he's only 24 years old. He is completely wet behind his ears. But in the blueprint of what's a heel, these guys in our past laid it out, the tracks and the foundation for us. Remember, wrestling is a rinse and repeat. You take back from your past. So even the feuds, the gimmicks, mostly of that is repeated from you look at your past. You could see what the gimmicks were, and it gets recycled, but also to everyone's different personality and different characters and different essence, and they bring it to life. So I like what's going on with Theory here personally. He's saying that he might cash it in against these two titans. They're going to beat the hell out of them. And Theory throws the Money in the Bank briefcase at Lashley's face and started beating him down. So immediately building up some heat, building some contention, building some animosity, some spice if you want it, to kick off Monday Night Raw with a lot of heat, a lot of generation, generating like those eerie, let's get it. And I loved it. And then Lashley comes back and he has some back elbows and a big spine buster on Theory. And of course, just like the classic heel, Theory retreats. Let me retreat. It's not my night. And that's what he's setting it up. Classic face versus heel, and you gotta like it. It may not be to everybody's pleasing, but you gotta see the whole main picture. The whole generalization was the heel retreating with the face getting over. Did he accomplish that? Yes. Is it to some people's liking? Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people criticize the living daylights out of WWE, but some people, and also myself personally, I will criticize the living daylights out of AEW. And it's still entertaining at the end of the day. It's just entertaining wrestling. Just entertain. Just sit back, have yourself a Coke, relax, get entertained. And if you don't like the entertainment, one thing the most beautiful thing they ever made for us is a remote control. You change the channel, you move it on, you go watch something else, read a book, go do something else. In my opinion, if you don't like it, I don't have to watch it, and I watch it. I may not be so it is what it is. My opinion is I loved it. I think it got heat. It started off the Monday Night Raw with folks hating the heel, retrieving. Classic. And then of course, we saw that there was going to be a WWE picnic in the background earlier today. They had a hot dog eating contest with Otis. Street Profits. You saw Theory later on telling them, hey, we got a match later on this evening. I just wanted to bring that before I run out of sequence and forget about that backstage. But we have finally the second match. It is in San Diego, California. So it is the home of 619. The Mysterios comes out. They're going to take on Judgment Day in the form of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Now, the match was a match. Everyone's thinking, we all saw the classic promo in the back where Judgment Day is talking to Dominic Mysterio, putting some intentions in his head about, being tired and all that. And you see, Ray look at him, and the seeds were thrown. I don't know if it's going to go on fertile land, but the seeds were planted there for a Dominic Mysterio possibly turning on Mysterio. And everyone that's watching it is intrigued and in tune. Oh, wow. Could this, and even in San Diego, California, a lot of things that happens with the WWE, it tends to happen a lot. There's a pattern here. Whenever you fight in your hometown, you never win. You never go over. And when you fight on your birthday, you never win. You never go over. I don't know what it is with McMahon and WWE, but you could check the facts. I think it's like a 95%. But that statement is accurate. So we see the match going there. Just a regular 2-on-2 match there. You're like saying, boy, who is going to take the pin here? Who's going to win? Do you really, you got Judgment Day with no edge. Where are they going? Where they're if they take this pin here, they're losing steam. They're going to end up being like Retribution 2.0. And you're like, oh, man, that sucks. And you really don't want to bury Rey Mysterio in front of his own state, his own city, along with his son. And you don't want to keep making Dominic look like a jobber either. So you want to kind of have a balance. And what did the WWE do? I think was the most smart way of getting that victory and keeping everyone's heat and homage was the best person to give homage to, Eddie Guerrero Jr. You saw Dominic throw the chair into Balor with the chair in his hand. He had intentions of using it. And you saw Mysterio, referee distracted to Damian Priest. Mysterio drops like a bag on the floor, and the referee turns around and thinking that Finn Balor nailed him over the head. And of course, classic Derek, the DQ. It was an homage to the great Eddie Guerrero. May he rest in peace. It was phenomenal because not only you keep the heat on Judgment Day, they don't look like a bunch of chumps. They got caught, with their hands in the cookie jar, a little bit comedic. I can see what you're saying. Well, there's supposed to be a facet who's going to be next and mean, and I can see that. I understand that. But also, you bring homage to a great WWE legend. I don't know if he was from the San Diego, California area, but Mysterio is, and of course, at the end of the match, you see them giving thanks and the Eddie Guerrero shake, homage to Eddie Guerrero. I thought it was well done. I thought it was smart on them, what you call it, the creative to bring that in, incorporate that. And then after that match there, that's where we saw the promo with backstage. But we get a little bit of backstage with Miz telling Logan Paul that he retracts his statement accepting his offer to reunite as a tag team, which we all know that Logan Paul signed with the WWE. They were in Orlando, Florida. The Stephanie McMahon, Hunter, Mr. McMahon had a meeting with Logan Paul. Not only Logan Paul, I'm going to say this on the podcast. Not only with Logan Paul, they signed him, they got him ready. They also had a meeting with Mercedes Mercado, which is AKA Sasha Banks. They had a meeting with her. Look for her to return to the WWE real soon. I'm saying it myself. I have no insights. I have no credit. No. Take it for a grain of salt. I'm not connected with the WWE, nor not in Tony Khan's pocketbook, Raj Giri, and wrestling. No, I know that the reason why I say that with conviction is WWE has NXT here. Mostly everyone from the WWE universe, the NXT performers, as well as a few WWE wrestlers, were at World Disney World. Now I understand these folks make a lot of money, especially in the case of Sasha Banks, and she was with Bailey in World Disney World in Epcot Center. Pictures all over the internet, all over everywhere. They were both there, and also the NXT universe. They don't make as much money, but they got the free comps They got the WWE. They got comped into into Disney World. They had like a company party or company privilege to go to the Walt Disney World Resort, as well as Epcot, Universal Studio, not Universal, Epcot, all the Disney World parks. They were all there. They all participated. Sasha Banks and Bayley were there. They were seen all over Orlando, Florida. I know people saying, well, she followed Tony Khan on social media. So what? The meeting happened. She was in the Performance Center. It's going to happen. They're going to bring a new contract. She also just had eye surgery, Sasha Banks. She's also filmed the Mandalorian season 3. Guys, just hang out. SummerSlam, she will be there. She will make her guest appearance. She will be back, her welcome back moment in Nashville. Just, you know what? You could come back and roast me if you want to. It's not the first time I've been wrong, but they were in Orlando. The meeting happened. Can't book it. So we'll move on from that there. We'll go back to the Monday Night Raw review here. Just wanted to give a little bit of backstage there with Logan Paul. And looks like that's going to be set up for SummerSlam between Miz and Logan Paul there. Then we saw the pre-profit with the cookout with Sheldon Benjamin, Doudrop, among others in attendance. It was funny how they, started eating in the Welfare Academy, and Theory comes out, Dawkins' eating skills. It was a funny prank, homaging 4th of July. You liked it. But then we go backstage. Backstage, all of a sudden, I haven't seen that in quite some time, is the backstage brawl. You saw Finn Balor and Damian Priest beating up on the Mysterios from behind, giving them a beatdown. Not only that, it makes them continue to keep their heat. As even though should have done it in the ring, but so what? They beat them on backstage. They really gave them a hurting, and they put a point there that they're still a bad ass fashion growing up, and I know they still got a lot to win us as a crowd, because it seems like they, like I said, Retribution 2.0, but hopefully not. And they go into commercial. They go into the next segment. There, of course, one of the matches that I was surprised I didn't see them advertise it as much, to my knowledge, was AJ Styles taking on The Miz. Now, AJ Styles and The Miz is like, wow, again, that was people complain about not about them WWE with the matches over and over. Me personally, when you got two performers, well performers who could tell a storyline, who are in-ring clean, with also good back and forth wrestling abilities, in a Miz and AJ Styles, you know what? I raise my hand. Give it to me. Give it to me again. No, thank you. May I have another? I enjoy the match, the style, the chemistry that these two in-ring competitors give. I was surprised that AJ Styles got the victory with the phenomenal forearm. A clean victory. I was like, whoa, Miz. Okay, not bad. The phenomenal forearm. But this was an unlikely end to the storyline, as we see, AJ Styles celebrating, and he's in the ring. All of a sudden, Ciampa from behind attacks him. Now we're starting to see, a developing pattern here. And I always told one on the channel, I say, listen, it's Ciampa being buried. Ciampa, they don't know what the hell they're doing with him. Maybe there's my 25% truth to that, but I tell people, relax. He just got up from NXT after Stand and Deliver. After WrestleMania, he got me to the main roster. Give it a minute. Let creative figure out who wants to work with him. They also got to bring him up to the main roster, and certain performers got to wrestle with him, hear him charisma, throw ideas. It takes time. They're not burying him. Give it time. If he's up here for a year, nothing's going on, then you say he's buried. They don't know what to do to him. He's only got a couple months. My point is, they found the niche. You saw him interfering a lot in Miz's matches afterwards. Just coming in, no questions asked, just coming in, beat him up, no acknowledgement. So we finally get an acknowledgement there. Part of the storyline as Ciampa and Miz finally shake hands. First of all, we saw the Miz after the match hit Styles with a Stone Crush finale there. I love that match. I thought the match, even the ending, setting up a storyline, letting us know that Ciampa is going to team up with Miz, and good for Ciampa to get Miz under his wing. Ciampa is a hell of a good wrestler. If you please watch Tommaso Ciampa in NXT. Even his last match with Tony D'Angelo, phenomenal. Even prior to that, he's got some great matches. Ciampa, a great in-ring performer. technician. He could be a classic heel as well. Even when he was in a tag team, when he was NXT Tag Champion, he could work. He could wrestle. Now, he might need to work on his promo skills. That's why you have the Miz. You have a mouthpiece. Although Miz could be in a tag team now where he doesn't have to take too much, heavy lifting. You can have Ciampa do the heavy lifting, plus learn under him with the promo. Perfect pairing for WWE. It's kind of a mentorship there. You look for Ciampa to now start elevating, escalating, and now you guys could relax with the burying and don't know what to do with creative and attacking Ciampa and the WWE. Don't know what in the world they need to do here with him. I'm excited to see Ciampa under the wing of the Miz. We all know Miz is one of the greatest promo cutters in this generation, currently right now in all wrestling, and they put him with Ciampa. You gotta like it. We definitely enjoy that. Of course, you saw the post-match Ciampa handshake with Miz, showing that they have that alliance. So we all waited for the moment here when the SmackDown Women's Champion comes out to Liv Morgan. It has come out. Of course, they show us the vignette of her cashing it in, winning it. And Liv comes out, and the fans go bananas. Like the word of Gorilla Monsoon. And the chance of you deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it was phenomenal. Overwhelming to the point, you saw that she held back a little tear there, of course, Liv Morgan. And, man, it was great. Thanking the fans, promo skills. I hate when she goes into a little bit of a high tone scream. It's like, it hurts a little bit of the ears. I know my dog's ears sticks up, but I enjoyed it. And then, of course, with cutting that nice promo, we want to know who in the world is going to be our next contender. Morgan holds the belt up high, saying it's not just for her, it's for all of us, the whole WWE universe who's been supporting her. I know I've been seeing a lot of folks supporting her since January. Back in January, they wanted to see Liv Morgan in the month. Remember, she was in the Royal Rumble. They wanted her to win that Royal Rumble match, and she just fell short. Always been a bridesmaid, never a bride, and she finally gets the opportunity. I love the way they staged it in Money in the Bank. Just the match was a little bit. And when she won from Rousey, I wish there was a little more action, just a little more. But hey, I can't complain. The main idea, she finally got the title, and that's what it was all about. Then we get an interruption, none other than Natalya. Natalya comes out, and everyone's like, "Well, Natalya, you had your opportunity and you relinquished." That's what I'm saying in my head. But Natalya interrupts, says she's the only reason Mick Morgan cashed in the Money in the Bank. When she mentioned that, when I saw her speaking, I said, "Damn, you know what? It kind of makes sense." Because you kind of soften her up, and why not? Natalya want to take a shot and go after that title. I mean, she did loosen her up, and I said to myself, okay, it's starting to make a little sense. Natalya says she'll take a thank you, but she'd rather have a shot at the title, of course. Just when I finished saying, and Morgan says that she shared a locker room on SmackDown with Natalya and know exactly where to find her. So Morgan is going to be a fighting champion, following what Rousey was doing. Oh, man, I don't know if it's going to be an open challenge, because I don't think Liv Morgan is built for that open challenge. I think they're going to have to protect her a little bit in that way, not having her open challenge, because, man, even though Morgan is on fire and she could win some matches here, and they're going to, and I hope it's not a transitional championship, by the way. You got ladies like Raquel Rodriguez, who's much bigger, much stronger. The returning of Charlotte Flair returning back. Do you really think Liv Morgan can hang on to that title? I hope it's not transitional. I hope it's a run that personally, like when WWE decided to give the title to AJ Lee. AJ Lee was the small, thinner, WWE champion. You're like, AJ Lee, beating up some big woman there, like had Beth Phoenix and so forth, like. But AJ Lee, to me, is one of the most historic WWE Women's Champion in the whole history of women's championship. I think she had a great run, impressive run. AJ Lee, one of the greatest. You could say top 5, in my opinion, if you want to say AJ Lee. Could they do something with Liv Morgan? Yes, they can. It all depends on the crowd, how we want the heat. If we keep her supporting her and keep backing her up, and if Liv Morgan as well, in-ring competitor, and help out with her microphone skills, because that's, I think, one thing that hurt Ronda, whatever, was her microphone skills. I think her microphone, her promos, is she a tweener in between? Is she a face? Is she a heel? I think Rousey works good as a heel completely. If she wants to be the baddest bitch on the planet, she needs to be a heel and act like the baddest bitch on the planet. Mean face, mean mugging, coming into the ring. That was an intimidating factor when she was in UFC. She will come in the ring and she will be mean. She will have that bitter face, that bitter bitch face that she's gonna go in there and hurt somebody. And I think she needs that in the WWE going forward. Have that psychological fear the minute you walk in through as soon as your theme music come out with that mean look. And maybe she might have to change that Joan Jett. I like the reputation, her theme song, but maybe she needs something dark, upset, like, maybe something like you're like, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass type of in-ring entrance and be a total badass. I think the face for her, because she doesn't have the promo skills to be happy-go-lucky, and if you want to be the baddest bitch on the planet, you can't be happy-go-lucky with a smile and then go in there. Although, and that's something that's happening with Raquel Rodriguez as well, but I don't want to divert from what we're talking about there, which is this Natalia Liv Morgan. I hope Liv Morgan's title reign is a long one. It's not a transitional. I hope she don't make a drop her in SummerSlam to Charlotte, or if Charlotte returns. The only thing I can see her maybe dropping that is to maybe Sasha Banks, and she returns at SummerSlam. We know Bayley's returning as well, but I think Bayley has going to go after the Raw Women's title with Bianca Belair. That's for another show, for another day. Just wanted to give a little teaser out there. And of course, both ladies are in the ring, and we get an interruption. None other from Carmella interrupts the segment, saying she tells them that take their butts to SmackDown, and she calls that ring her ring, and she wants them out of the ring to get out of her ring, and calls herself the next Raw Women's Champion. Of course, they get the back and forth banter. Liv Morgan telling her she lost, she got beat, and Carmella and Natalia agree to both put their differences aside and go after Morgan, kick her ass, put her in her corner, and they started beating up her until Bianca Belair runs out, and of course helps her friend Liv Morgan. They've been friends. You saw if you have Twitter and social media, you see them posting together, both ladies holding the titles together, celebrating at backstage when Morgan won that title. Also, they're back to their NXT days as well. Remember, they came up in the system through the NXT, and they have gone through a long path to be in the main roster. So these ladies have a lot of respect and admiration for one another. And of course, when they clear the ring out, you see all of a sudden our general manager comes out and says, you know what? I'm going to make a match between all four of you competitors, and it starts now. So we had a match. Of course, we had a match between Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair against Carmella, Natalia. Pretty good match there. We knew that it was just a fight breaking out there. Of course, Adam Pearce pulled the Teddy Long and booking a tag match. And of course, it started during the break. We went to the break, but the action started. And after all, it was a decent long match with a lot of action between the ladies. Morgan was able to get the pin for her team, of course, with the knee, and also with a lot of moves there. And Morgan is becoming a much better in-ring performer, in my opinion. And she gets the much-needed win there. And, of course, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, the champions, win. And, of course, you see in the ring, they both hugged. And you saw Bianca Belair had like tears, because I guess they know the struggles of Liv Morgan and teaming up with her and both being champions. They had a moment away from the wrestling world and more into a personal life. And it kind of, you keen a little bit of a 4-4, kayfabe, whatever I say, being there in the ring. I like that moment. It was realistic, too. And it was, for them, it was a top-touching moment. For us as a fans, we're like, some of us it just goes right by us. I noticed that. I was like, you know what, that's good. Being, myself, as you see, I wear an NXT shirt. You see the NXT, I do follow a lot of NXT there, and I see the struggles and the bumps and all the different skill set and elevation of these wrestlers from NXT to the main roster, seeing them homegrown talents get over there and becoming champions. You got to, you could easily bring someone from Impact. You could easily bring someone from New Japan. You could bring someone over from any other wrestling organization and bring them in there, and you're going to make them hot, ex wrestler, and make them a champion. And no, you see WWE is trying to get their homegrown talent, get them over, get them elevated. And I think that tier that emotion was that capturing of their hard work there, and they're on the main roster where you hear people, you deserve it, and going nuts for them. That's a high level. That's what they do when they get there day one in the performance center, is that to hear that roar of the crowd, that acknowledgement of the crowd and I think they took a moment there as two ladies, and they really relished it, and it was a really special moment that it doesn't get talked about, but I am talking about. I noticed it, and it was good for the both Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. Phenomenal job, good job there for those ladies. I hope, like I said, this is a long run for both ladies. We shall see there. We went back to the cookout. We saw another video from the cookout. Veer Mahan was trying to eat some food. Of course, you saw Mustafa Ali, and Mahan tries to steal his food, and you saw Veer Mahan chased him. It was a little bit comedic scene there. I'm like, oh, come on, Veer. It's supposed to be, it is for 4th of July. Let's have fun with that there. Then you see backstage again. They go to another part of the picnic. You see Ezekiel trying to put some ketchup on a hot dog. Now, I know a lot of people says, who put ketchup on a hot dog? Well, I do for once. For me, for one, I do. Like, what are you, 12? Call me 12. I like ketchup on a hot dog, whatever the case is. And then you see them squirt. They're trying to get that squirt, and he squirts off screen, of course. And who gets full of ketchup? None other than Seth freaking Rollins, wearing a white shirt, and he gets ketchup all over it. And you see him serious, and like, oh boy, here we go, picnic, food fight. And he just starts laughing, that Seth Rollins laugh. And, and then you see Rollins and Ezekiel stare at each other, and Rollins starts laughing. Then Rollins stops and storms off, really irate. So it sets up a match we're going to see. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Ezekiel. Wow. So, okay. Another good match there. Now, this match, you could say, was match of the night. If you really wanted to break it down the way both in-ring competitors, yes, it was really good. It wasn't match of the year, no, but it was the match of the night. If this was UFC, they would have got performance bonuses. They had a good match back and forth there. You had so many false finishes from Ezekiel, doing all different types. It was the spinning power bomb. It looked so clean from Ezekiel. You also had oh man, pick and rolls. You had over his head press slams, impressive display of power. It was so clean. It was so fun. Seth freaking Rollins, whoever he gets in the ring with as a competitor, works so well. And also Ezekiel, very underrated wrestler when he was formerly Elias, who has a lot of great pinning predicaments. The way he executed his moves, I thought was really, really clean, really crisp. I enjoyed it. The match was, like I said, if this was UFC, Dana White or Vince McMahon in this case would have been giving $50,000 performance bonus because they bought it. They were awesome. One of the top matches of Monday Night Raw in quite some time there, and of course you saw Seth Rollins win, get the curb stomp, nailed them with the stomp for a pin, and Ezekiel still licking up his wounds there, and Seth Rollins looks back and he's about to go in there and give him a beat down for the shirt for the catch-up incident. He's going to go back in the ring. He's about to go give another curb stomp, and out of nowhere, I'm talking about out of nowhere, good job, kudos to the camera guys, not following the crowd, not showing when the crowd starts getting up or excited, and Rollins is about to deliver, and out of nowhere, nowhere, Riddle comes out and hits a RKO. Man, just don't look right. He was just hitting it where he should have, and man, I thought it was phenomenal, man. Wow, that looked phenomenal. That cutter, that RKO was in the middle of the ring, knocking Rollins. It's setting up this heat between Rollins and Riddle. Two of the top performers right now. Riddle's over right now. Riddle could go. Is a good in-ring performer as well. Seth freaking Rollins. What can you say? One of the top wrestlers right now in all companies. If you want to go for microphone, from promo to wrestling to heel to heat, he got it all there. Total package there for Rollins. And I can't wait if they set it up for wrestlers for SummerSlam. That is going to be a quality match. I can't wait to see them. Although we've seen them fight already, but maybe a special stipulation, or we shall see. I personally, if they've seen it before, I want to see it more. Give me more. I'm like, right back. Give me more. So we shall see there. All right, so We got the match coming up, a 6-man tag. We get Bobby Lashley, then the Street Profits taking on Theory and the Alpha Academy. A 6-man tag. You saw Theory trying to run away from Almighty. You see the classic heel control most of the action, while the face will make an occasional comeback with the hot tag, before the heels took over again. Just a basic 6-man tag, back and forth. You felt like Otis was setting up something about being sick, not feeling well. A little bit of comedy they were going to add to this. You saw Theory running around, avoiding, and the Street Profits are so over right now. The Street Profits, Dawkins doing a flip over the ropes and landing on his feet was very impressive. In this, Dawkins. Everyone is going crazy with Montez Ford, but Dawkins is no slouch. Both guys are elevating their wrestling game, their in-ring performance to another level. It's not just Ford. Dawkins, it says, don't leave me behind because I'm right there with you. And of course, Gable, another perfect performance from him as a classic heel, taking some bumps with executing the different types of variation of suplexes, in-ring performances, and being funny and entertaining. Gable gets it. He is, I hate to say he is I hope he's not a jobber. I hope they take him serious, where they're going to start putting him and elevating him as well there. But for now, they are doing some great kind of funny moments when Ford threw Gable out of the ring and realized he was too close to his corner and moved back to the middle of the ring. That was kind of funny, which led him eventually to make the hot tag to the Almighty. That was, a little, you could say a minor botch there, but it was funny and in a way, and then of course the way Dawkins blast Theory and send them over the announce table, that was phenomenal. That shoulder tackle, and just, it looked like, I said to my, he threw him until next week. My God, they basically, because we didn't see Theory pretty much after that, he practically tackled him into next week. Phenomenal. Lashley doing a rollover and his spear is a nice touch. And it always makes it look like he's hitting them really hard, like he blew up and exploded. But it was nice for him to get back on his feet and make a unique move to him. And we saw the winner. It was the 6-man tag with Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits winning. Post-match, of course, the comedy. Otis throws up hot dogs and pukes all over his partner and all over the canvas. It is what it is. I guess the angle of him being a glutton, and that's what happened when you eat, and you're supposed to wait 30 minutes after you eat before you go in the pool or in the match. So that was the comedic angle on that. We'll see there. And of course, backstage, you see Becky Lynch says when they had an interview, Becky Lynch says, no one gives a damn about Otis. Becky is mad as hell, and she says she is going to do the wrong since Asuka returned. So they have a match later on tonight, a no holds barred match between these two ladies. And of course, we get a interruption here. We get R-Truth coming out. But it wasn't R-Truth. It was Uncle Sam Truth. He comes out and says today is his favorite holiday. He says today we honor the brave heroes who saved the earth from the alien invasions in 1996. He shouts out Will Smith, Jeff Goldberg, Vivek, of course, the one and only Vivek A. Fox. And Truth reads his favorite chapter from the Declarations of Independence. Welcome to Earth. Of course, it was a comedy scoop. He was talking about Independence Day, the movie. R-Truth, of course, with between the 24/7 segments, R-Truth has some comedic value. Vince McMahon loves R-Truth. What he does, all the things he does backstage, outside of for the Make-A-Wish, and all the other things, as well as Titus O'Neil. That's why those guys stay around. If you're a good guy, yeah, you might not be a performer, an in-ring performer. It's like, why the hell is he keeping guys like that on? Because it also counts. If you're a good guy behind the scenes, help the talent bring up forward, conduct yourself in a multi-billion-dollar company, respectable as a professional, you will have longevity in a company. And as you can see with R-Truth as well as Titus O'Neil, this is why, and this is why guys like Keith Lee with talent, with bad attitudes and is negative, is no longer in WWE. Just a little side note why R-Truth is sticking around. So R-Truth is there, and we get interruption. Truth is interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser comes out, and he announces the ring general, and the Gunther comes out, and Gunther comes down, heads down to the ring and tells Truth to urge the crowd to start cheering USA, USA. And Gunther comes out, and of course, he's going to have a non-title match. Again, remember I mentioned about the mid-card champions being displayed here and showing value? Now you bring a Gunther out here. This guy is huge. He's like a real obstacle. Gunther is being portrayed as a big Austrian with obstacles. And now the United States from Lashley and the Intercontinental title have some title holders who are, whoa, you're not going to go in there and manhandle like no disrespect to Ricochet, but you could tell that anyone who could really outpower him could take out Ricochet. Now with a Gunther, you really got to bring your A game to knock out a big Austrian the way he looks, and they're bringing some character, some meaning to those titles, and I like that. And Gunther comes out, has supposedly it was a non-title match against R-Truth, and it was a total squash job. Gunther totally squashed R-Truth, hits him with that powerbomb variation. He gets the victory. I think the match was like about 2 minutes long. It was a total squash match, and that was that. But I like the way they showcased it. Gunther, aka Walter, those from Imperial, those who know him in NXT as Imperial. And of course, you get that heat on 4th of July weekend. You have the Austrian and the German go out there and get the victory on R-Truth. It is what it is. So also meaning to it was more showcasing that Intercontinental title there. We saw backstage Sarah asking Alexa Bliss about her friend Liv Morgan winning the championship. Alexa Bliss says she's not, she has no friends, but she's happy for Morgan. But she mentioned Lily, and she wants to get back in the title picture and see if, maybe Lily will get a little title belt around her waist, as like she has hers. So that's why I mentioned Lily in the beginning there. I mixed up, so I botched that one. But looks like Liv Morgan is acknowledged. Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan, maybe that's a path, maybe for a couple of Monday Night Raws down the road. I don't think that's going to be a SummerSlam matchup, or who knows with WWE, but I don't think so. I think that's more like it's going to be either a SmackDown matchup in a couple of weeks, Madison Square Garden. They're going Madison Square Garden on the 25th, or here in Orlando, in my home city. Maybe those are the type of matches we might see there. When we might see that title match defended against that program between both ladies, we shall see there. And then it leads us to the main event for tonight. It's a no-holds-barred match between Becky Lynch and Asuka. Now, Asuka. Now, this match, man, WWE again. Now, if WWE doesn't say, if you can't say that appreciate it, WWE ends their matches with their ladies. They don't give them the 9:30 slot, before the main event where everyone is like yawning. It's like, hurry up and get this over with. Remember, some other wrestlings, they record for hours. They record their elevate, and I'm talking about EW. They record Elevation, they record Dark, they record this, and they got Rampage afterwards. A lot of the crowd is like, too much. It's good. You know what? You get fed a lot of wrestling, but by the 9:30 slot, people are like, ugh, and it doesn't feel natural when they wrestle. WWE, they put their women all over. They know they're not afraid of making their women main event, despite the fact you like it or not. They're not afraid of doing it. They're not afraid of of the equality. Go, ladies, go. And big time Bex with Asuka, they bought it. That no holds barred match, they were punishing each other, inflicting. Was it like one of the most memorable ones? It wasn't. No, not really. But for tonight, I thought that was the second best match of the card. Myself, but for a main event, close it out. You saw they used chairs, they used tables, garbage cans. After a long fight, Lynch put Asuka through a table with the Superman hand slam for the victory. Is this feud has come to an end? I hope so. For both ladies, because we did see Asuka interrupt Alexa Bliss at the interview, the promo that she was cutting with Sarah about Liv Morgan, and she kind of interrupted her. So maybe that's a hint that those two ladies are going to go feuding next. I would like to see that personally, and let Becky Lynch move on to something different. But all in all, it was good. You saw Asuka hitting a missile dropkick on Lynch, where she had a garbage can on her head. It was a great spot. It made it look good. It was ladies being kind of hardcore. It was a hardcore, no holds barred hardcore match with the ladies, and I gotta say, both ladies bought it. It was for being, and then the match went 15 minutes long, or close to 20 minutes long, and was entertaining. It was not, there was not a boring spot. Even with the no holds barred, you could see, sometimes they might get tired, winded. No, you know, not one bit. Asuka had an extra bit of pop when she hit people. Some wrestlers looked like they were pulling punches, but not Ahsoka. She had no problems pulling the punches. And she just bought it, man. Asuka is in another level of wrestling, that we see for a female. Very, very, very well polished. I wish she'll lose that comedic type of move with the yelling and over talking and that mumbling nonsense. But that's part of her gimmick, and that's part of her gimmick. That's part of her stick. It might, like I said, if it's not for everyone, if they have a plan there, but it looks like, because she's like a bumbling nuts. And you saw Becky Lynch when she wins this, I'm back on track. I'm back on track. You could hear it as they were fading away, leaving the show. I'm back. So we'll see, because it looked like Becky was losing her mind for a little bit of all the losing getting to her, but she gets the victory. Where did they go next with that? I don't know. Be honest with you. I think we're going to see Asuka versus Liv, actually not Liv, but Alexa Bliss there. Becky, I don't know if she's going to go back after Bianca Belair, because now with all the branding, the Raw and SmackDown brand out the window, they could go into each other, wrestle each other. But I don't know. We shall see. That's why it's fun. Creative has us thinking it's sometimes good a little bit of be unpredictable. Because if you're predictable, why am I going to watch the shows? If I know what's going to happen and what's scripted, and I know already, they don't do long-term booking, all this 50-50. WWE, I want to know what their storyline is. Why then? So why watch it? If you know what's going to happen, that's the part of the element of the surprise. You want to tune into the WWE or even AEW or any wrestling organization, Impact. You want to turn into them because you don't know what's next. Expect the unexpected. Remember, that was Vince McMahon's calling card before the 90s Attitude Era. And remember, in the World Wrestling Federation, expect the unexpected. Remember that. That was their calling card. I know some of you guys were not even, you guys were in your parents' testicles when this happened. But I was walking the earth, and that was part of that was what Vince McMahon used to say. Expect the unexpected here in the world of the World Wrestling Federation. So just remember that, guys. Or if you're new to that, Google it. Go Google it. Go look at it YouTube. Check it out. That was their motto before. You expect, and they didn't want you to have that predictability. And I think wrestling, when it's a little bit unpredictable, it's fun because you don't expect it. No one expected that Liv Morgan was going to walk out of Vegas with Raw Women's title. You might have had a suspicion or a hunch, but you might have thought it might have been a failed cash-in. It wasn't. That's what makes wrestling fun. Although sometimes we know already where some of the storyline and direction is going. We all know the predictability that either Rey Mysterio or Dominic, they're not going to stay together as a tag team. They're not going to stay together. There's going to be a rip. We all know that. We can see that. We all see Dawkins and Ford as Street Profits possibly splitting. But let us enjoy the storyline that unfolds in front of us. Let us enjoy the build-up to that. And I think that's where we lose our essence. We want to see this. They did it terrible because you weren't the ones that did the creative writing. Let the creative writing do the creative writing. Just sit back and enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy it. I think we tend to lose that essence as wrestling viewers, or if you're gonna want to go and be entertained by wrestling. We want to let writing do writing and let us do the watching. And that's the point. I think that's the problem when it comes to Twitter and the Twitter universe and all the critics. They want to do writing, and if it's not what they say on their podcast, how they want the script or the screen to go, it sucked. It was so terrible. The build-up. Or the storyline. It's not all the time. It's not about pleasing me. Wrestling is not about pleasing me all the time. It's not pleasing about anyone. It's about pleasing a general population of folks. Was it entertaining? Was it good? Was it safe? Yes. Or did we all agree with it? No. I could go back as far as I wasn't pleased that Ultimate Warrior beat the Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was my champion as a kid. Hogan was my champion. I didn't want to see him lose the Ultimate Warrior. He lost to the Ultimate Warrior. And of course, now I see it later, was issuing another champion of a new generation. But as a kid, when I grew up, I hated that WrestleMania. I probably watched that WrestleMania one time. That's it. Because I hated it. I hated to see Hulk Hogan lose the Ultimate Warrior and Hogan kick, and seeing the Warrior kick out of Hogan's leg drop. No one used to kick out of that finisher back then at that time. And I hated it. And I understand that it wasn't. And now when I get older, it wasn't about pleasing just me. It was about pleasing. It was just building a storyline, a new generation. WrestleMania 4, I can give you that. I was so pissed when Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, when Hogan got disqualified. You know, I was a big Hogan fan. When Hogan got disqualified, now he doesn't get to wrestle for the world champion. Then Macho Man, but then Macho Man became one of the greatest heavyweight one of the champions, one of the Rushmore wrestlers. But at that time, I hated it. I was like, Macho Man? He was Intercontinental Champion. Macho Man, the heavyweight champion? That WrestleMania sucked. I remember as a little kid. You know, now and as I get older, I appreciate it and understand that. But I just wanted to bring that up there. All in all, Monday Night Raw was a really good show for a day after 4th of July. Remember, they expect people to be out about, not really watching Monday Night Raw. Too many eyeballs. I know the numbers and ratings might be down, but the folks that were able to stay home. Remember, also there's also people sick in hospital wards, you know, orphanage, all different places that not able to get outside, you know, and get to experiment, see the fireworks. They were entertained by Monday Night Raw. If they have cable, you know, if they able to see it on the app, they could see it there. If they're working on a job, they would, you know, or on a plane or traveling, they get to see Monday Night Raw there, and it was entertaining for them. They gave them a good product. All in all, I think the show was really entertaining. Was it the memorable Raw in a long time? No, it's not. It's not like a Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. It was a Monday Night Raw show that delivered for the people in San Diego, California. They got to see, you know, maybe this is one of the few times that WWE goes there live. They got a show. They got to see the Mysterios. They saw a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. They got to see the women's champion. They got to see a very good no holds barred match. They got to see, you know, a good match between Miz, AJ Styles. They got good matches there for them, and who knows what other dark matches that we didn't see afterwards, you know, that was entertaining for them. All in all, I thought Monday Night Raw was a very good product, very good show, despite the fact they knew they were not going to get a lot of eyeballs. People were out watching the fireworks in the movie, out in the beaches, out and about. It's summertime. Remember, everybody's tired of being cooped up in a home in the wintertime. It's summertime. People are out and about. If you watch it on DVR, you know, if you watched it live, you got to see something at least entertaining. It wasn't a waste of time, and I thought it was good. That's my opinion. I am BS Sports Jedi Network. I thank you guys for watching and joining along with me here on the Heel of the Ring podcast. Don't forget to please, on the bottom scrolling, we got our program in all the audio platforms, in all the different Spreaker, Amazon Music, iTunes, Apple, Google, anywhere that you have your podcast, just put BX Sports Network and you found the Heel the Ring podcast. We also have the MMA program, MMA Weekly with Austin and Chef Dan. We also got the Return of the Knicks podcast, the Rangers Town Republic, the Bronx Bombers Strike Back. We have all different types of sports with all different. The Giants Report with Chef Dan, the Jets Alorian, if you're a Jet fan, or NFL. We have all different types on our network. We're a growing network here. We don't come up in Twitch. We're on Twitch, Roomba, YouTube, BX Sports Jedi Network. Just follow us. And of course, if you have, I always say thank you guys for giving me your time and providing with your time. Something that I cannot give you back is your time. But I don't want to waste it, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank you for allowing me to graciously speak my mind and give you my opinion on the world of wrestling. I've been watching this since 1982. My grandfather got me into wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan since, you know, and me and him will go back and forth, just watch wrestling from NWA, AWA, Memphis, down to Texas wrestling, to in Puerto Rico wrestling, WWE, WCW, you name it. My grandfather would love to watch and go with him and my uncle to go to Madison Square Garden and watch the house shows. Memories of childhood, you cannot have a price to it. Great memories, and that's what wrestling. That's what we are. Wrestling fan is a generation thing. You pass it on to your kids. Remember, we get caught up with the tribal stuff. That's nonsense. Just go enjoy the wrestling. Love all wrestling, no matter what wrestling. If it's AEW, the NWA, Impact, just enjoy it. even an independent circuit. Just enjoy it because these are performers and trying to entertain us. And remember yourself as a kid being wow and ooh and seeing this story with the kids and the face versus heel. That, oh my God, get them. That excitement. Just go back to that and forget about all the nonsense of which organization is better than which one, who's over. Just let's go out there and just enjoy the wrestling. It's about wrestling. These people are out there putting their bodies on the line to entertain us. It might not be clean, it might not be smooth, but it's an entertainment. They're out there doing their thing to entertain us. And you know what? I appreciate those wrestlers with all wrestling organizations, no matter what it is. And that's why I have a passion and love for the wrestling world. So with that said, I want to thank you guys again for watching along. Please hit that like. Join us. Usually I have some hosts, co-partners, or panelists that joins me, but they're busy right now. And of course, like Vince McMahon said, the show must go on. But I am BX Sports Jedi Kev saying, always pin life and always get over. And if you ain't down with us, I got 2 words for you guys. Just subscribe.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it
looking
bad, I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh, got adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you just the fuck up real bad.
Shut up!
Bye, everybody.